Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Overnight Action Report here at MarketStream.live. My name is Joseph Cusick with the Cusick Group Securities offered by MoneyBlock. This is where we're going to dive into all of the action that's gone on in the overnight session here in Asia. Now, the week is over. Our counterparts over in the Far East are now into their weekend, but the Japanese Nikkei did gain overnight 0.8%. And it narrowed its weekly loss of 0.9%. The index has basically spent the past 5 weeks bouncing between 19,000 and 19,600. You did see that growth-sensitive names had some good showing on the overnight session with Suzuki Motor, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, Hitachi Construction, and Mazda Motor all advancing between 1.5% and 2.3%. Now, EWJ is trading at $50.57. For those of you that watch, know that's the ETF that we watch for Japanese stocks. Today, they're pricing in a range for this ETF of around 25 cents, either up or down. And you're also seeing a 7-day range of right around 71 cents. The implied volatility is still really low. For those of you that don't know what implied volatility is, that's just a forecast of potential violent moves. It's at 3% as far as the rank over the last 52 weeks. This is low, folks. Not a huge expectation of big moves. $50, $49, roughly $50 and $48.50 are going to be two levels that you're going to want to watch in this ETF if the bulls are going to continue to have the momentum to the upside. Now, taking a look at Hong Kong, Hang Seng climbed overnight 0.5%, extended their weekly gain to 1.9%. Excuse me, bad cold today. The index recorded its third consecutive weekly advance. There's been some positive notes in both construction, housing, as well as gaming. Energy-related names, though, led the overnight session, with China Petroleum and Chemical, PetroChina, CNOOC, all climbing between 0.2% and 3.8%. Consumer names, though, are starting to lag. That's with like Bell International and Want falling about 2.6% and 1.1% respectively. EWH tracks the stocks in the Hong Kong index, and it's trading at $20.66. Now, over the next 7 days, they're pricing in about a 1% move, or roughly 26 cents. The implied volatility rank is very low at 7%, so not a huge heightened expectation of violent moves. Watch $20. 2056 and 2051. These are levels that you're going to want to watch very closely if the bulls are going to continue to have at least some sort of traction to the upside in Hong Kong. Now, taking a look at the Chinese Shanghai Composite, it shed 0.2%, and that extends its weekly loss of 1.3%. Now, we did have some important trade data that came out overnight, where China showed a surplus of about 40.8 billion, and that trade surplus came well under expectations, and as a matter of fact, it's at a 9-month low. You also saw that December exports were down about 6.1%. That's a little bit worse than expectation, but December imports were up 3.1%. To put this in kind of a little context here, folks, you're seeing the Chinese middle class, it's about the same size as our country, right? So 350 so million people. It's pretty impressive. Shanghai Material Trading and Shanghai High Tech all had losses overnight of around 7.1% and 7.8%. Those were the most notable smaller cap names. None of the large cap names had a big move. FXI is the ETF that tracks the Chinese large cap names on the Shanghai Composite, trading at 36.49. Today, pricing in a range of around 35 cents for the $36 ETF, and for the next 7 days, 80 cents. Implied volatility rank is very low at 3%, not a heightened expectation of huge violent risks as far as moves to the upside or downside. 35.40, 36.26, and 35.53 are going to be critical levels that the bulls need to maintain if they're going to have the continued momentum to the upside. And then finally, wrapping up the session, we're going to take a look at India Sensex, just below the flat line, but it had an impressive week in India, up 2.3% for the week. Tata Consulting, though, and Infosys both posted decent losses of 3.9% and 2.5% respectively. Now, Tata Consulting expressed some concerns about the future of the H-1B visas. while Infosys retreated despite beating on their earnings expectations. We also saw that Suzuki, Hero MotoCorp, and Tata Motors all losing between 0.7% and 1.5%. So you see some large cap names in India, both on the visa issue as well as just overall profit taking going into the end of this week. We're going to watch that closely. It's been a very bullish run to the upside in India. EPI is the ETF that tracks Indian stocks. It's trading at $21. The range today is 23 cents, either up or down, and for the next 7 days is 40 cents. The implied volatility rank is coming in at 20%, so it's heightened versus other indices in the Asian region, but still very low when you look at it over a 52-week time frame. 2025, 2036, and 2057 are going to be critical levels that need to be held if, in fact, the bulls are going to continue to have control in this Indian ETF that tracks Indian stocks. All right, folks, that's it right now for Tech Talk. Overnight action in Asia. Must be the cold medicine kicking in. I will be back on at 8:45 Eastern Time, where I'm going to be talking about what's going on now in Europe. The market has been open for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then we're going to set the plate for our opening action here in the United States at 9:30 Eastern Time. So join me then here at MarketStream.live. Take care.